Tonight on the Controversy Desk, Senator Jack Reed unloads on Todd Blanche in a fiery confrontation over a controversial $1.8 billion fund tied to leaked IRS tax records. Accusations of abuse of power, political favoritism, and constitutional violations exploded during this dramatic hearing.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Blanche, how many taxpayers' returns were leaked by the IRS contractor in the 2020 breach?
How many taxpayers, excuse me?
How many taxpayers' returns were leaked by the IRS contractor in the 2020 breach?
I don't know the exact amount, but a lot.
405,427. One of them was Donald Trump, correct? One of them was Donald Trump, correct?
One of them was Donald Trump and his family or others, correct.
Right. And Donald Trump was president at the time.
Correct.
So it was his IRS department that allowed this breach of privacy, correct?
It was a criminal who worked in the IRS, yes.
Well, he was hired under Trump's administration. This is one of the Trump.
Well, there was a criminal breach that led to this, yes.
Very good. How many of these 400,000 people have received monetary reimbursement for the breach?
I don't think any have, including the president.
No, they haven't. But you've authorized the president to agree the president should have reimbursement, correct?
No, we settled the case. No, there's no reimbursement to President Trump.
Well, that's interesting.
Senator,
so President Trump, you're going to assure us President Trump and his family will get no proceeds from this?
Correct. He will not.
He will not get. His family will not get.
Correct.
And who will direct the distribution of these? Who gets the money?
From the
right.
Victims Fund?
Yeah.
Well, there'll be a commission of 5 individuals that will be set up, and they will take in requests and claims and decide whether to do anything for mission of
Who will name the commissioners?
I will, or the Attorney General, whoever the Attorney General is.
The Attorney General. Okay.
Sorry, just to correct, and one of them will be done in consultation with leadership of this body.
Consultation. Well, that's good. But when he first announced this suit on January 30th, he said, I think what we'll do is something for charity, where I'll give the money to charity. I'm talking about the American Cancer Society. I would say established and respected charities. Will you fulfill the president's wish that it goes to respected charities?
I'm aware that he put that in or said that, but that's not ultimately what the settlement calls for.
Well, the settlement was negotiated between his lawyers and the Department of Justice, correct?
Correct.
So his lawyers did not urge that they adopt the president's vision of giving it to a respectable charity?
I am confident his lawyers urge the president's desires. Obviously, there's not a charity.
The order that you signed yesterday states that the government pay this settlement if the Secretary of Treasury has certified the payment. Is that correct?
Correct.
Is it a coincidence that the General Counsel of the Department of Treasury resigned yesterday?
I don't know if it's a coincidence.
Have you looked or checked?
Have I checked?
Yeah.
I have not. As to why he resigned?
It just seems to be very coincidental that a high-ranking member of the Department of Treasury, Senate confirmed, would resign the day that the Treasury Department was required essentially to certify these payments.
Well, I believe the IRS signed the settlement agreement as well. But yes, but I can't speak to why he resigned, Senator.
Well, this all seems to be an obvious abuse of power by the Department of Justice, by the president. He negotiated essentially with himself. You're his appointee. The IRS are his appointees. He's the plaintiff. And the American people, I don't think, are surprised that suddenly all this money is going to his friends or people that he, in his orbit. Will you ensure that none of this money goes to anyone convicted on the January 6th attack on the Congress?
Well, the commissioners will determine who is eligible to receive the money.
And who are the commissioners?
They're not named yet.
Who will name them?
I will, or the Attorney General will. It's not me.
So, with the suggestion of the President of the United States?
Excuse me?
With the suggestion of the President of the United States, your boss?
I do not make suggestions. I will.
No. He will make suggestions to you.
I have no idea if he will or not. I really don't. I have no idea if he will or not.
I would be shocked if he didn't tell you exactly who to put on, and I'd be more shocked if you did not put them on. This is a travesty of the law in the United States and the Constitution.
This hearing quickly evolved from a discussion about an IRS data breach into a major political battle over accountability, executive influence, and public trust in government institutions. Senator Jack Reed sharply confronted Todd Blanche over the administration's handling of a multi-billion-dollar settlement tied to the 2020 IRS leak, which exposed tens of thousands of confidential taxpayer records, including those connected to Donald Trump and his family. But beyond the breach itself, the focus rapidly shifted toward who would control the compensation process and whether politics could influence the outcome. Tensions escalated as Reid questioned whether politically connected individuals could potentially benefit from decisions made by commissioners appointed through the administration. Blanche repeatedly stated that neither Donald Trump nor his family would personally receive compensation, but Reid remained deeply skeptical about the independence of the process. His concern centered on the concentration of power surrounding the settlement fund, specifically who selects the commissioners, who oversees the decisions, and whether the public can trust a system managed by political appointees connected to the administration involved. The hearing intensified further when Reid pointed to the resignation of a senior Treasury Department official on the same day the settlement certification process moved forward. Although Blanche denied knowledge of any connection between the two events, Reid suggested the timing raised serious questions about transparency and possible political pressure behind the scenes. While no direct evidence of wrongdoing was established during the exchange, the confrontation reflected broader concerns about how government power is exercised and whether political influence is becoming too deeply embedded inside federal institutions. At the heart of the controversy is one of the largest taxpayer privacy failures in recent memory. The original IRS leak triggered outrage across the political spectrum after an IRS contractor illegally exposed sensitive financial information belonging to thousands of Americans. Supporters of the settlement argue that victims deserve compensation regardless of politics and that an independent commission is necessary to manage claims fairly. Critics, however, warn that allowing politically connected officials to oversee the process creates the appearance, or possibly the reality, of favoritism, abuse of power, and weakened public confidence in government neutrality. By the end of the hearing, Reid delivered his strongest condemnation yet, calling the situation a travesty of the law in the United States and the Constitution. That statement captured the emotional intensity surrounding the debate and highlighted the deeper issue driving the controversy: public trust. The confrontation was no longer simply about leaked tax records or settlement procedures. It became a broader argument about institutional integrity, executive influence, and whether Americans can still believe that government systems are operating fairly, independently, and transparently in an increasingly polarized political climate.